We'll get this lot down, eh?
Aye.
At the face, the miners worked in pairs. Their first task was to bring down any loose stone from the roof and sides.
Go on, keep John, get to me anyway.
They were 18 foot long, an inch round, and they had a pinch on the end. That's all it was, 18 foot long, inch round. You had to pick them up with 2 arms and get them up, and you had to use it.
It's moving slow.
It's on its way.
Come on.
It may not come down, but you know somewhere up there's a key piece, but it's finding it. And it may take you an hour to find it.
There she goes.
And then all came down, as big as this room, all down. Maybe it's all around you. And leave with the sulphur hole.
You have to be on your toes then, eh?
Oh, God, aye. It was all danger.
The miner's mate was known as a filler. His task was simple: to break up the stone into pieces he could lift and fill as many wagons as possible. Each wagon held 2 tons of stone, and the men were paid for each ton filled. When driving a new tunnel or split, they were also paid for each yard they drove forward. In the 1920s and 30s, the tonnage rate averaged 1 shilling and 3pence. This bare minimum locked the men into a daily battle to reach a basic target of 8 wagons.
You wanted a 20 ton at least. You want up to 20 ton, between 18 and 20 ton.
Per shift?
Per shift, yeah. We had 8 wagons a day. Maybe it's 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Times 5 is what? Now there's your tonnage a week for 2 men.
For many years, as a means of saving on timber costs, the company endorsed the practice known as drawing a jud. This involved the men having to re-enter the worked-out jud to the furthest point and then backtrack, extracting each prop for reuse elsewhere. Consequently, the men were forced to work beneath expansive, unsupported roofs. Sometimes a jud could begin collapsing immediately. Other times it could hang on for days and even weeks.
How big was a jud then?
A jud could be as big as Eston Institute, interior-wise. All timbered, stooks in. You know what stooks are, don't you?
No.
Well, they're the pinnacles of stone that's been left in.
I see.
And it's been driven to its natural maximum. And invariably, it's like a forest.
But sometimes a jud wouldn't come in, and the consequences could be grave. The intense pressure could force the roof, sides and floors of the wider district to move. This was affectionately known as the creep.
When the creep was on, it was always busting. You would find a big piece bust off the side and slither down like an iceberg in the Atlantic.
At Trustee, the last 200 men in reserved occupation were digging for victory and the inevitable last shift. But not all would see the end. On the 10th of May, 1949, within months of the final act, William Randall Brighton, a miner with 35 years' experience who began as a boy of 14, was killed underground. As had been the custom for generations, the workforce downed tools and followed the stretcher out.
It happened on a 2 to 10 shift. and I heard that Randall had been killed. What he had to do, he had to get some height, so he utilised a wagon, an empty wagon, and he put a plank on the top. And whilst he was drilling the hole, it eased itself somehow and brought Randall down, smashed to smithereens. They tell me they almost shoveled him up. And the last thing he was heard to say, his mate was called Bill Collins. "Look out, Bill!" And Bill ran out the place, and as he looked back, he saw Randall single-legged, trying to leap off the wagon. He hadn't time, he couldn't beat gravity. And down he went in the wagon, shoveled him up.
Randall Brighton was the last of almost 400 fatalities at Eston, a death toll that began almost a century before.